Big Stat is brought to you by Old National Bank. We are breaking down the excellence of Ohio State tennis. They won the Big Ten double this year, the regular season and the conference tourney champs. Team that won the ITA Indoor National title over the winter, the 30-1 into the NCAA Tournament for the 24th straight time. Will host Cleveland State Friday. Were they to win there, they would get the winner of Vandy and Oklahoma State. Ty Tucker has been the head coach in Columbus for 25 years. He joins us now. He is today's big interview. Coach, 18 straight regular season titles. You've won 15 Big Ten tourney titles. So I'm not going to ask you, are you surprised or how does it feel? I mean, you do this every year, it seems, but how has this team this year and how they performed compared with your expectations going in?
Every time I get on here with you guys at the end of a tennis season, a Big Ten season, you guys try to jinx it. So we're going to try and keep it going. You guys try to talk about 18 straight or 17 straight last year. But, it was a good year. We felt like we could make some noise with this freshman class. They were tied with Texas for the best recruiting class in the country 5 years ago as freshmen. They came in and absolutely started to light the world on fire as young guys until we got caught up in COVID. So, the biggest challenge was keeping guys together to come play that fifth year because this is the last season for COVID for spring sports. So, that was the most challenging aspect of it all, was to keep the Kingsley and the Boulay and the Shanig and the Robert Cash together to put I wouldn't say life on hold, but, one's going to go to medical school, one's finance major, two have done pretty well on the professional circuit through the last 3 years, played every summer, play 8, 9, 10 pro tournaments and been able to get up into 400 in the ATP rankings, Boulay and Kingsley. So, keeping that crew together to come chase one more title was the main focus. And it was good to see that, what Ohio State meant to them, because they had some unfinished business. And, I'm excited to see what happens starting this Friday at home against Cleveland State, but obviously nervous because that's who I am. Get a little bit very nervous before every match, and try to dot the I's and cross the T's with the preparation and see where it goes.
Okay, I know you do get nervous, and you mentioned us potentially jinxing you. You are a famously superstitious human being. So
I've got problems.
So give people a sense, like, how do these superstitions, how do these fears of the Big Ten Network hosts jinxing you, how do all of these things manifest themselves? Like, what do you do to try to ward them off?
I mean, that's nothing. You jinxing me now. Try to be on the road in these Big Ten cities and having to find the laundromat to make sure that you're doing your clothes, because I only take one set of clothes and I wear the same clothes for every match. So got to find got my favorite laundromats in every city in the Big Ten. I come in and I think people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm watching one pair of shorts, a pair of sweatpants, and 2 shirts. So it's and it happens twice a week, every week, Big Ten cities around the country.
All right, so you wear the same clothes. Are there other superstitions?
There wasn't an echo. I do.
Are there other superstitions that you've got aside from that?
We haven't eaten at Olive Garden in 25 years, so there's one.
Why not? What happened?
Sorry, Olive Garden.
What happened at your last Olive Garden meal?
We lost. That's what happened. I told you I had problems, and you wanted to go there.
You're right. You warned me. Let's get more into your team. I saw in an article earlier this year. I thought this was a really interesting quote. You said, "I never think that we're the top dog." And I think the people listening to you would get an understanding as to where that comes from. But I do think it's interesting. I mean, look, the results that your team has had through the years would tell a very different story. I mean, you come into the Big Ten season every year, or almost every year, as the expected Big Ten champ. So how do you instill in your players that notion of, hey, we're not the top dog?
I mean, it's just day in, day out with the practice and everything that you tell them, everything that you feed them. I mean, everybody has scholarships and everybody has great coaches nowadays. Everybody's trying to win. You look under a rock when you're out on the recruiting trail, and you'll find 10 coaches under it. So, yeah, it's nothing's easy and nothing's given. And to do what we've been able to do, 18 consecutive Big Ten titles, just imagine the amount of matches we had to win down a player in the lineup, or a guy sick, or a guy injured, and to be able to pull through. And it's, every week starting over with the new 2 matches that you're going to play that week, letting the guys know, how proud of a program this is, where they were at one time, and how they're looking forward to the challenge of beating Ohio State. Because make no mistake about it, there's always a bullseye on our back when we go. And people want to beat the Buckeyes because we have had success, but at the same time, we're pretty grounded, and we understand that we take nothing for granted. We've got to be ready, and every day's a new match, and you've got to be ready for them because they're quality athletes and quality coaches, and they want to beat us.
Well, I think what's really amazing is to think of where Ohio State's program was before you took over. I mean, you had lost 24 straight conference matches before you took over as the head coach, and now we talk about all this incredible success. How have you turned this into a powerhouse? Kind of what is the formula?
Shame on you for saying that when I was an assistant coach when we lost 30 Big Ten matches in a row, but shame on you. You're back at it, going after me. It wasn't a lot of work was done. We'd done some, I was the assistant coach for 3 seasons before taking over as the head coach. And we lost every match in the Big Ten, those 3 seasons. And, but we were putting in good work. My coach, Coach Daly, was the head coach at the time, and we had a great recruiting class. And I was fortunate after he retired, I got it, and it looked like I'd done some pretty darn good things because we made the NCAA for the first time. But we put a lot of work in for those 2.5 years, and had some young guys who were stepping up, and we were turning the corner. And that next season we went 7-5 in the Big Ten into the second round of the NCAA, and lost to University of Texas in a pretty tight match in Boise, Idaho. So it was great to be in Boise, but now. If I thought about going to Boise, Idaho for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA, I'd be devastated because the top 16 teams get a host in men's tennis for the first 2 rounds, and playing in Columbus, Ohio is where we need to be playing the first 2 rounds.
And important to you, not just because you're the head coach there, but also because you're an alum. How gratifying has it been to do this at your alma mater?
Obviously, I mean, it means the world to me. Ohio State, grew up in Zanesville, Ohio, 50 miles east of here, and to have an opportunity to do something like this at Ohio State, I mean, who has it better than me with that in that regards? But it's a lot of work. It's there's no days off. It's we practice every Saturday and Sunday. Monday's our NCAA day off. That's when you catch up with all of your paperwork, and it's 7 days a week, 9 or 10 months a year. And there's nothing I like more than going to work with young guys and trying to develop, the team chemistry and then the culture and everything that goes with, running a successful program. And I mean, I'm lucky, and I can't believe that I had the opportunity to be able to do what's been done at The Ohio State University.
Your team trains every day in the Ty Tucker Tennis Center. What's it like to go to work in a building that has your name on it?
I've never said it like that. I've never said the actual name of the building. It's humbling, but I'll tell you what, my mom will tell everybody she sees. So you could be at the grocery store, she could be at the hair salon. They'll leave there knowing that tennis center is in my name.
Well, speaking of your parents, you have an interesting background. You were a fabulous player yourself. As a teenager, you went down to the Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy in Florida, which is the precursor to IMG. That's now the IMG Academy, which everyone knows so much about. And your roommate there was a fella named Andre Agassi. Tell me a little bit about your experience of spending time with him. He was a phenom, and perhaps the most memorable experience of spending time with Andre.
We got in some trouble together, that's for certain that year, and had to go over to Nick's house when everybody else went to the mall. Saturdays, you got to go to the mall at the Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy. That was the big deal. The buses would take you out at 4 and bring you back at 10 p.m. And we got a month taken away of mall privileges, and we'd have to go from 4 to 10 p.m. and pull weeds at Nick's house. So, we had some interesting times, but Andre was a great guy. Actually, in our room also was Martin Blackman, who's the head of the United States Tennis Association now. One room over was a lifelong friend, David Cass, who's in Columbus, Ohio, that was an All-American at Michigan, and we battled back in the Todd Martin and the Malavi, Washington days. And, there's just lots of great tennis at that time, and Nick Bollettieri's was the place to be. And it was a special time, but there were great players. Courier was there, everybody. But I lived on the top bunk, and Andre lived on the other top bunk, and we had some good times. And he was a great man and still a good friend.
That's pretty amazing. Bollettieri is such a great developer of talent. You have turned into a great developer of talent as well. What do you think has made you such a good coach?
Great players, darn good assistant coaches, people who, I've had Justin Kronauge with me forever. He's the program leader in wins at the Ohio State University, and he started coaching, the next day that he graduated. And he grew up in Centerville. I grew up in Zanesville. So some people ask me all the time, and I say, I think it's pretty easy to go and see my parents who are in Buckeye Lake. His parents are still in Centerville, so we never have to take time off. The shop's open all the time. If you want to get better in tennis and you're a student athlete who wants to get better and wants to be coached, we're never on the road. We don't have to take weeks off to go visit family because they're all within 45 minutes. So I think that's been a huge advantage for the men's tennis team at Ohio State. And in an individual sport, there's different rules, NCAA rules, in regards to what you can do in summertime breaks and things like that. Like team sports don't have the ability to get together as a group and practice with their coaches. There's rules, but individual sports, as long as they volunteer their time, they can do it. And I think that's I can get done with this interview, go hit balls, do what I need to do, and I could be at my mom's house by 6:30 for dinner tonight. And I don't ever have to really interrupt practice or anything that we have going on here.
Well, Coach, have a good dinner with Mom if you choose to do that, and best of luck. Best of luck in the NCAA tournament. Again, the #1 overall seed, looking to win a national championship for the first time in school history. We will be keeping close tabs on you. Ty Tucker, this was a complete pleasure. Really, really enjoyed the conversation.
I'm sorry. Probably won't get good ratings, but I appreciate it.